Men.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. As usual, the boldest man in Kampala is doing bold things. And tonight, we are here in the wonderful home of the Honorable His Excellency Elly Karuhanga, who needs very little introduction because he's a man of many seasons. And right now, he's here on Men to talk about the importance for you men out there, both young and old, about continuity. Should a man write his will? Or should he just do what a lot of us do? Wait until you're dead because you know at the end of the day, I'm not going to be here. Somebody like Colin has already decided that he's not going to do that. Reason being, he says, I'm not going to be here. We're hoping that at the end of this episode, his mind will have changed.
In front of His Excellency?
So, all right. So gentlemen, I know it's not my place to welcome you, but Your Excellency, thank you. First of all, as I mentioned, you've got an amazing office. It's well thought out and well placed. I can't help noticing the cleanliness in your home.
Thank you.
Has it got something to do with you as an individual?
It's a combination, but also inside me.
Yes.
It's a bit clean.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you
It's a combination. My wife, thanks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice.
And my children.
All right. So definitely we're in the right place.
Yeah.
So just to dive straight into it.
Actually, I must tell you this story about this office.
Yes, sir.
Because I've been complimented a lot by friends who come here.
Yeah.
It was a surprise for me. I went to South Korea recently for a medical treatment. I had a challenge with my spine.
Yeah.
When I came back 4 months later, I found my office completely changed and my bathroom, and it looked like this.
Yeah. Wow.
Thanks to my daughter, Eureka.
Nice. This is very
So my wife and I did not put an input, anything in this. We just came here and walked into a big surprise. A makeover.
That's good. Well, your input was your daughter.
Yeah.
Yes. So she could envision what you wanted, and so you still had an input. But it looks amazing. Really, really looks lovely. And from one Arsenal fan to another.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now you're talking. Now you're talking.
To dive straight into it, one of the challenges, especially us as Ugandans, we have, is we really don't like talking about planning for the next generation. Some people say that when we do that, we're making our children self-entitled because they know what they're going to get, so they're not going to work hard. And from when you put on your hat as a lawyer, do you think a man should write a last will and testament when he's still in his early years?
And also the superstitious people who think that writing it is inviting
death.
Death. So those are the two things. The guys who they fear for the children, but they also fear that you are inviting your own death.
Like, why should I write it,
Colin, this is a deeply human subject.
Yes. It's not a Ugandan thing.
No. It's all of us human beings. This is very deep for us. To be able to organize your succession, you like to postpone it.
Yes.
Because death does not look so near. Secondly, why should I write about inheritance now when I'm still working? So what will they inherit? I'm still putting things together. So this succession, this inheritance, this writing of wills, this writing of trusts are not merely legal subjects.
Yes.
They are very deeply human subjects.
Yes.
And very few people want to confront it.
Yes.
They like to postpone it for another day. Tomorrow maybe I write my will. No, maybe next year. Maybe when I have accomplished this, next year I will be able to write something. So you find a lot of people dying without a will.
Yes.
And And the family dignity goes, the family, there is fear, the conflict comes up among siblings and relatives and clan and friends of the family and distant relatives and people who wished you well. Now they see the children are struggling, disintegrating. It affects the love and affection they had together. It goes deep to legacy, which you would have loved to leave behind you, and it gets so torn apart. And when people look at you, they audit you when you are not there. They say, "Oh, look at the son of so and so who destroyed his father."
His father was Peter Igaga, but Peter ate all the inheritance. Not you.
And it facts that doesn't affect you only; it affects even those generations not yet born.
Yes.
So what do we do? Many Africans work very, very hard. And Africans are known, we have survived because of hard work. Through digging, that's hard work.
Manual labor.
Manual labor is hard work. We try to create wealth, we build wealth, the little we have, and then it's eaten by inflation. So at one time, Uganda here, we had an inflation of 1,000%.
1,000%.
Yeah. So whatever we built as wealth, that's why wealth was in the hands of Indians when I was growing up. I'm going to tell you the story about Indians, and those Indians who are listening to me, please understand that I'm telling the truth. That's what used to happen. I was at Makerere, and also asked me about what happened when I was at Makerere. And we had come to Kampala, and we didn't know that Kampala was a city of Indians. So we used to come, and we could not find Africans anywhere in Kampala. Because the Indians would be driving, the children, the wives, the 4 families who were living behind the shops during the work week would come out on Saturday and Sunday to drive around between Wandegea and Clock Tower and Kitgum House, near where Airtel is, and drive like that and come back, because those the roads, this useful road, blah, blah, were not there. So they were just going like that, and then they would sit at Bank of Uganda along there was some pavements where they would sit, children, many. And then the buses would be with them also, because they go to the bus park and climb the buses on top of the bonnets of cars, and with balloons blowing and singing and having this
the red thing.
the whole place
Festival
would be a fantastic spectacle. And they owned the properties. And so the laws of inheritance in Uganda were based on the law of 1906. Now, doesn't look like real. 1906 is 1900. That is just slightly before 1800. We are not talking about 2000. I'm talking about 1906. That's the succession law we had in Uganda, which was a British succession law.
That's 120 years.
120 years.
120
years. So the laws were about the British, how they succeed their worth. That's the ones which affected us, but they were actually meant for the Indians.
They were not supposed to be for us.
What were we succeed?
We had nothing.
Exactly. So when we started working, then inflation came. And we had to take away 2 zeros. So if you had 1 million shillings, they took away 1 zero. So that is 100,000. Then they take another zero.
10,000.
That is 10,000. So your 1 million became 10,000.
Then they
in
removed
Uganda.
30%.
I'm not talking about another country.
Here.
I'm talking about. So when it came to succession, your 1 million which you want to distribute
It's 10K.
is now 10,000. And how are you going to distribute that in a family of an African with 20 children, 10 children, 5 children?
And relatives even.
And based on a law of 1906.
Yeah.
So this whole succession law has been, and so when you talk about wills, you are talking about writing a law and a will to your family to distribute
What you, yeah.
Well,
what you have.
yeah.
So if you have land, the law is saying, please distribute, write a will and distribute to your family. So if you have 5 children and you have 10 acres, each one of them
Two, maybe.
has children also, because now you're a grandfather.
Yeah.
So
Land fragmentation.
land fragmentation. So the whole law regarding this story is unfortunate.
Yes.
And so what should our legislators be doing? They have not been able to see this. They have concentrated on succession law, on distribution,
Okay.
distributing to make sure that the widow gets some percentage, the children, in fact, now they have improved it.
Yes.
That's why I was talking about gender. Make sure that now
The
our
girl
law of 2023 has amended, now allows the girls, your daughters, to share equally with your sons. But before, the law did not recognize that.
Women as
The women were not entitled.
So, Honorable, up to
Yeah.
2023,
Yes,
girls were not included in succession.
yes.
Yeah. It was
Yeah.
only it was only boys.
Customary.
Yes.
Because
And customary, because the way the customs were set up,
set up.
you'd simply say Peter and Jaluo and Chris,
Yeah.
they're the ones inheriting. If you want, you can take care of your sisters, because
At your
customarily
choice, yeah.
the sisters would have gotten married
They have
and
left.
would have left.
And left the compound.
But in
And it
the-
was
They
also
have their
patriarchal
husbands, they have their
society.
new property. They,
Yes,
they are not going. Their children want to be our clan members.
Yes, so we shouldn't give them anything.
That was the idea.
So they're not going to take from our home.
Yes, how can they take our home,
Yes.
our
But
property?
in the 2000s, the girls stopped getting married.
Exactly.
They started, you sent them to universities, they got some master's degrees. Now they are 40 and they're sitting in your household and they're saying, also me, I want
And they want to build at home, you know.
Yeah, they want to build at home, they want to share.
Yes.
Oh.
I think that
Well, I'll tell you what. This is interesting, and because not too long ago, I remember there was an incident of our former prime minister, prime minister, when he passed on, and there was an issue of his daughter inheriting.
Yes.
And it became a big issue generally in the country, and the people who were against it were very learned people. They were
Yes.
not some unlearned people. So it means at the back of a lot of people's minds, they still do believe that it's only the boy child
Who should inherit.
who should inherit. Now,
So it is important that you should write a will
yes, sir.
to distribute what you have, because it takes away ambiguity and uncertainty. When you leave, people don't go. They say, Mzee, he said, that cow is mine, that watch
it is
is mine,
Everyone
but the shoes
is saying
are
he
here.
said.
The other land is mine, and so it takes away that. But that's not what is required now.
Yes.
What is required now, you're asking me about the future. It's not so much about to distribute and fragment what you have. It is to preserve what you have and to build
From what you
from
have.
what you have built to make it bigger and better.
Yes.
So this is why we now want people to preserve the values that you have built, the wealth you have created,
Yes.
and preserve it and improve on it.
Yes.
So what you need to do is not only to write a will to Because if you write a will, you sort out a lot of things. But when you write a will, you just distribute and you fragment. Although you protect conflict,
Yes.
now what is required
Yeah.
of you, the listener, and me is to look for a lawyer. Because what I'm taking you is a little bit more sophisticated than just writing a will.
Yeah, we're listening.
And write a trust.
Yeah.
Peter, you
Because the trust,
Honorable.
the trust, you don't have to die for them to read the trust. When you die, they read your will. After you have died, but the trust, you have a family conversation. You say, this is my property. When I'm alive,
Well, this you do in your life.
this is what I have. With you now, you know my property. I have done a trust, and I want you to be part of the discussion of this trust.
Absolutely.
So we have to build not only the trust and register it, but we must make a holding company where all my property is going to be held by a holding company, which will be owned by the trust. And now, this company, you are owning it. And this trust, everything I have is for you.
Okay.
So now, with this trust and with this holding company, you can appoint a managing director. At the moment, I am the managing director. But I don't want to work anymore. I want to retire.
So,
Because you have matured, you Colin. Now, why am I laboring for you?
please say my name on a powerful.
I
I don't want my father to miss this one.
Yes, I'm going to have to pause you there for 1 minute because we do need to go into a break. Now, we are here at the home of the Honorable His Excellency Elly Karuhanga, having a very deep and sober discussion about how do we continue as men. You have mentioned something very interesting about fragmentation, because that is a big thing. When we come back from the break, I would want us to also have a conversation about the word trust, because it's a big thing. A lot of people don't do that, and I believe it's something new to a lot of us. We're here on NTV. This is your show. If you need to be part of this conversation, don't forget to hit us on our socials. It is on X, we're NTV MEN _UG, and across all platforms, we're hashtag NTV MEN. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after the break.
Men. Men.
Welcome back from the break. We are here. I was going to say Sangha Courts because we usually
Creature of
shoot
habit.
there.
We're here in the palatial residence.
We are here in the palatial residence of the Honorable Elly Karuhanga, who fortunately or unfortunately doesn't need any introduction because he's a man of many seasons. Now, Honorable, you've talked about building a trust, but then there's also the issue of trust that comes in. A lot of men are not comfortable declaring what they have, because some people have risked their lives when they shock their family and the family says, oh, you mean we have all this? They say it's time to get rid of this museum and we take over.
That is one part.
Yeah.
One part is we need to get rid of the museum.
Yes.
But the other son, not you.
Yes.
Some other guy says, you mean this guy's been working for 30 years and all we have is one plot in Namawajolo? Right? Because men also are judged on achievements and accumulation. So the guy is saying, which is what the Honorable said, he's defining, he said, let me first finish this thing so that when I present, it is
So it's a whole
there is
package.
something
So
substantive.
the audit that Honorable was talking about,
The
audit reads, judges me well.
The other argument.
I am not underperforming.
Yes.
Then the final thing, I think that these conversations also expose even though people know that you have loved them, people then quantify how much you love me. If I am the one who got the house in Kololo, why is Chris the one in Muyenga, right? But as a father who has known the family, I think that people then start to quantify. But daddy, you know, you have always known my problems, but you also know your child is lazy. If you don't provide for them, they will starve. So I think that I wanted to put these reasons and put them to you and say, the trust issue is important.
Yes.
Peter, we are discussing a very, very, very important matter.
Yes.
Which affects each and every family. So, this whole story, high and low, people bewitching each other. One of my friends here who works for me went to bury a relative, and the sister of the other sister who died refused to come to the grave and bury her sister.
Yeah. It's that serious.
Some people have accumulated a lot of wealth. But when it comes to inheritance and succession, the children don't want to be part of the organization. Me, I'm a doctor. I want to go to America. Now you imagine if, say, the Madvan group divided their property.
Every generation.
That sugar cane from here to there belongs to that one. Imagine. So I'm using that family intentionally, but they are my clients. And they have been able to build an empire. But they had these challenges. And I was involved as a lawyer. And they are coming back to Uganda after Idi Amin, and I've seen what they have built, and I've seen the challenges they have held within, but they have been able to build something. Now, if you want to go and chop it into pieces, and don't build a trust, and you find people to managing, so you find that Mr. Mayur Madvani is a managing director, but his co-managing director sitting in the same office is Mr. Kamlesh. So they all sit there and they run the empire on behalf of the entire family. And everybody is taken care of.
The world.
Yes, and they can go and be rally drivers or whatever they want to be, but they are part and they are building the institution for future generations. We are going to move. I'm asking you, it's expensive because you have to see a lawyer. You have to go and do a trust. And the trust will preserve your wealth. And if somebody doesn't want the salary coming from that wealth, they can donate it to others. But in that trust, you can even direct that if I have got anybody in my family who is disabled, is blind, is incapacitated, they should take care of. The trust should have money to take care of that type of person. If there is a death, the trust should be able to bury that.
Yes.
I want to ask a question, Peter, if you don't mind. So there's building a trust, which, from my understanding, is a company that holds and grows the wealth.
Yes.
On behalf of the family, and hopefully, if it's run well, we'll get to a point where it takes care of all the needs and the resources keep growing.
Yes.
But then there is also the aspect of an endowment fund.
Yes.
How do those two play together?
Because so from the trust,
the
trust helps you to know how to manage.
It sets the rules.
The will does not tell you how to manage the trust, the property. The will tells you how to distribute, how to chop
The will is definite.
The
So
wealth.
the will gives shares. Let's
No,
No,
the will.
divides.
you
It
divide.
divides.
Divides is different.
You
Like,
take
The will is a knife
No, I've understood.
which
but
cuts the property.
very, yeah.
okay. So
Right?
so
it
when there
cuts
is
this table.
yes, true. So,
Unotwalako kano, the table is no longer there.
onatuta amagulu and yeah.
Aha,
So my question is
but the trust keeps
Yes.
the table
yes. So but it can,
and it teaches you how to manage
Family, yeah.
the wealth.
yes.
And if you don't have any child who knows how to manage the wealth,
Then you hire.
professionals.
Yes.
And you take this trust and you can give it to lawyers to hold in trust for the trust. And you can appoint managing directors, professional people, to look after your property.
Yes.
For example, let's say you have money in the bank and you have died. You can distribute the money to your 14 children and dependents, or 20. And everybody takes away whatever. All right? If you are listening to me, you can divide in your head how many. So maybe somebody will take away 100,000. Or you can say, no, my 10 million, I'm going to give it to an advisor. And he will buy
Shares or mutual funds.
You
or
will
something.
buy a bond
yeah.
in the bank or a unit trust.
Yes.
And at the end of the year, my 10 million or my 100 million, if you are having that much, at 10%, I will get
110.
10 million.
Yes.
And the 10 million, I can distribute
To you people.
to you people to enjoy.
Yes.
But
the
at
principle
the
stays.
yes, and at the end, and we can keep some.
Yes.
Keep growing.
Yes, keep growing it. But the advisor will come and sit with you, and you say, no, let's keep some. No, let's not take all the 10
The
million
interest. Yes.
for eating. But the other guy has a lot of problems. My brother has a lot of problems.
Yes.
Yagenda nazara abana,
Nkaga.
aina abana 10,
Yeah.
Yes.
taina school fees. Now you give me 10 million, me I have one child. He also 10 million. No, let's lend him to pay school fees.
Yes.
Me, I'll take 4. Let my 6 go to him to pay school fees. But during the period, he will refund my money.
Yeah.
So, but then you have an advisor who is
then
advising
says-
you.
And who's keeping track.
Meanwhile, the fund is growing,
Ah.
right?
And everybody
Yes.
benefits.
100
benefit.
million.
Now, then all of a sudden, one day, your fund is no longer 100 million, it's 200 million. And there is something you want to buy,
Yes.
a property you want to buy. Then the advisor will tell you, they are selling that apartment at 200 million. Why don't you buy it using this 200 million you have in the bank, which in the unit trust? You say, but then we shall stay with nothing. We shall have a block and have no cash.
Yeah.
No, you'll keep your money. We shall go to the bank. We'll use the trust as collateral.
To borrow, yeah.
So after 5 years, your money is still there,
Yeah.
and you have paid it using the interest, and now you have a block of flats, and you have your money after 5 years because you have an advisor who is helping you because you have used the trust. And so at that time, the family is growing bigger,
And
wealthier, and more organized.
Yeah.
You don't use your 200 million to finish to buy the block. The 200 million will be generating interest, which pays the bank
block?
Yeah.
And you get
the loan.
apartment.
After 5
And you
years,
still have
you're
your money.
finished, and your money is still there, and your block is now there. Then you buy a second block, then a third block.
Peter, I have a question
Yeah.
And
for you to address to our host. He speaks with such clarity
Yes.
about this thing. But I know you and I know you. And I know many Ugandans. So I have two questions. One, it means that we must put aside whatever differences we have and agree that we're all going to listen to Peter, our father.
For the
As
common
brothers,
good.
we will not fight.
Yeah.
Yes? We will listen to the family vision. It means that Peter has to cast a long vision and say,
This is where we're
I
going.
have worked for 30 years, but you, my sons, must work for another 30, and after that, your children will never work again. So
the
someone
common
has
good.
to have that vision.
Exactly.
That is one. Two, it means that people like this who only have pictures and a Facebook account to inherit for their children,
Yeah.
you must have a minimum viable something,
To bring to the table.
yeah, to bring to the trust.
Yes.
So you can't come and say, you can't come to the trust with nothing. So my two questions are, I guess that is, what minimum do we need? And as the vision bearer of the trust, how strong of a will must, not a will, the testament, but the vision, how big does that vision have to be for a man to say, I see my family lasting for 300 years?
Yeah.
That's my question.
Okay, Honorable, just before you answer that, we do need to go into a quick break.
Okay.
Now, as we are here at the wonderful home of Honorable Elly Karuhanga, having a very sober discussion about continuity. I think one of the things that we've taken out of here that's very clear is writing a will may not be the way to go, the way most of us think. And everybody starts saying, you need to write a will.
Yeah, but I need to check that
Yes.
because it's important to write a will.
Yeah.
Otherwise, your whole wealth will be eaten by lawyers from the Ministry of Justice.
So stay with us, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after the break.
Men. Men.
Welcome back from the break. We're here in the final segment of this show that is really boggling my mind because
We've never done anything like this.
no, and my mind has been opened up in ways that I've got a lot of homework to do. But anyway, we're here at the wonderful home of Honorable Elly Karuhanga, who's our special guest today. And we are talking to men out there who need to understand what it means to grow wealth, even when you're not here. So, Honorable.
The endowment is money that you will create for the general good. Right? For example, you can say, I have some money, I'm going to buy an apartment. But whatever money comes out of there will go to do general good for the family. Right? They are going to make our graves of the family
Yes.
nice. They are going to ensure that we also participate in building schools in our village. If there is a challenge in the hospital nearby, we should go and participate in the cancer buying machine there.
Yes.
So from that endowment fund, your family will always be part of the family of the community.
Yes.
It's important that when you are creating this type of trust, you put an endowment fund, which will come from interest.
Or from the interest.
From the interest of the
So
trust.
it's almost like ring-fenced money
Yeah.
that has been
For
purposed.
general good,
Yeah.
for your family and for the community around you.
Yes.
That is what is an endowment, briefly described. Now, the other one, the greatest tragedy in Africa, and with Africans, and with all of us, is that we are a new generation into money. Because, believe it or not, people listening to me know what I'm talking about. Their parents had no money.
You're right.
even we have no money. But we have more money than our parents.
That's true.
And the tragedy is not now what we have tried to build and to create, this wealth creation we have created, is that our children might not be equal to the task we want to leave them with.
Preservation of wealth.
Exactly.
So that's why it is very important not to shock them with a will. Because a will just
Fragments.
fragment your work. So you must prepare them over time. Preparedness. Even when the child doesn't look equal to the task,
You keep
you
preparing.
must sit them. It can take you 2 years discussing creation of a trust. Don't worry. But let them appreciate that this is the only way you can preserve wealth. If you miss this step of sitting down with an advisor,
To cast vision and
do not do this alone because you don't know how to do it.
Yes.
You need an advisor. You need a lawyer who understands trusts and who will sit down with your family, with the wives of and husbands of your children, and anybody whom you think you want to look after. But you need to sit down with an advisor or advisors, financial advisors, legal advisors. Don't worry whether what you have is a lot or not. The important thing is the seed
Yes.
For preservation.
of preservation of what you have achieved. And when you now, I'm going to use myself as an example in order to become very human to you, the listener, and to you, the discussant. I like to use this word, me time. I always find me time. At least once a week, I sit alone and I have me time. I put out a piece of paper and I write what I have to do. Spiritually, what I have to do. Socially, family, business. So when I finish writing those things on my own, with myself, then I can plan what it is I have not done and what it is I need to do. So when you are alone and you have a piece of paper, one day, please listen to what I'm going to say. Sit down and write your property. Even if you're a single girl who is 25 years old, sit down and write your property. You will be shocked to know that you have forgotten the other property.
If you have
How come?
two
I
wheels
even
and one
forgot.
face.
I forgot the other one. Oh my God! You will be very surprised that it can take you a whole month writing your property, because when you come to read the list you have written, you said, but now, what was wrong with me? So you keep on until you are satisfied that you have now put down your property. Write down people who owe you money and whom you owe money. Because all that is property. It's liability, it's an asset. So when you finish that, now try and write a will, just as an experiment. Try and write a will as an experiment.
As a test.
As a test. Try and write a will and see how you are going to distribute that thing and how it looks like. And then put that aside, fold it for a week, forget it. Next week, talk to people who know anything to do with a trust. Put all that into a trust. And then, supposing you form the company and the company is owned by that trust. First of all, it is tax-free. Now you have saved your property from taxes.
Oh, really?
Of course, you're being advised by lawyers. And they will tell you that if it's a trust, the trust will not be taxed. So you have now saved almost 30% from tax.
Inheritance.
Income tax.
Income
Inheritance.
tax.
Income or
tax.
inheritance?
The lawyers will tell you.
Yes.
This is where we lawyers make money. Now,
Percentage.
but also think about this. If you don't write a will, what will happen? And I want to answer Peter. If you don't write a will and you die, the government takes over your property through the Ministry of Justice,
Those
Administrator
lawyers.
General. So the widow comes crying, my husband died. Now, the customary people, his brother has his uncles,
They all want a
they
share.
have now taken the will. Ministry of Justice rushes there with the car, fuel, car, and whom are they charging for that expense?
The estate.
The estate.
The estate.
Yeah.
So he's staying, if you are from Barara, the state attorney, where is he going to stay?
One of the plush
In a
hotels.
hotel,
Yes.
flash hotel. Who is going to pay?
The estate.
Aha. He calls a meeting, family meeting. Okay? Now, this is a young state attorney. She needs allowance for the day.
Wow.
Who is going to pay the allowance? The Minister of Justice? But frankly speaking, at the end of the day,
It is you. It is the estate.
then now he starts to tell you how he's going to distribute the what?
The thing.
Yet he doesn't know
things.
anything about you.
Exactly. Now, he says, according to the law, the widow, you take 18 or 15%. Of what? We have to sell them. We have to sell these cows. So who is going to sell them?
The state.
The state attorney.
At the price.
At what
Which
price?
he has determined.
He has determined.
Yeah.
At what price?
Lowest possible price.
Well, maybe the highest possible price, but who knows what?
Who knows what is the
These are
highest?
villagers. I'm talking about people who are now.
Oh, no.
Who the state attorney is from Sebei.
Yes.
He's
The
in
person
Mbarara.
who has
in
died
Mbarara.
He's in
is
Mbarara.
from Kisoro speaking Kinyarwanda.
Oh, my God.
Now these guys are meeting and they are saying, what? Now,
And the lawyer wants to come back quickly.
And this-
Close it quickly and come
so
back.
write your will. Other than, if you don't write your will,
You're in
this will happen to you.
Yeah.
By the time you finish getting what you are getting, you only find 50% remaining. And you can write your will and distribute some things, but leave others for the trust.
For the trust.
Yes.
Do not chop your assets. Write trust.
So you use the will to ring fence.
Exactly.
The trust actually.
Yeah, you had a question.
And also, let me say this, prepare your children.
Oh, wow.
Because the biggest disaster that we can have is for a child to inherit wealth without preparation. When I was at Makerere, I studied law. But can you believe that I was a second-year student of law in Makerere? The first lawyers, I followed them.
Oh, you were the
At the
second
Makerere Law
intake
School.
of lawyers in the
Yes,
country.
at the Law Development Center, I was a second intake.
My gosh.
What?
So this whole country you are seeing is new.
It's very new.
Very young.
You are seeing me here. And we are very new. We are very new to the world
Yeah.
Wow.
of wealth and education.
Compared to guys who have been turning out lawyers for 300
Yes.
years.
My
Thousands
daughter,
of years.
my last daughter,
Yes.
she went to university in Canada, St. Mary's. Do you know when the university was created? In 1802.
Yeah.
What?
That's
Unbelievable.
200
So
years.
she was not the second intake
Yeah.
in the faculty. I was the second.
Your trial and error.
Versus 224 years.
You are telling me I have a beautiful office, I have a nice home.
Yeah.
I was like, my father was a chief. But he was a villager like all of them. He didn't know how to speak English. He was just a chief, inherited chiefdom. So he bought me shoes. And at school they told me to take the shoes off and hide them.
Wow.
How could I be the only person with shoes in school?
Yes. Because everyone was coming.
So we were walking all the time on foot, miles the way to go to school, because there was one primary school in the whole sub-county.
Imagine.
Now, when you hear that I was the second generation lawyer in Uganda,
Wow.
You know.
and you can see that I'm here, you can touch me, I'm here, I'm alive.
Yes.
We are not
So
a very
we are
old
the
country.
new generation. Now we don't know how to handle wealth. What we are facing today is a new situation.
Yes.
And thank you for coming up to discuss this matter. Because it pains me to see all these wealth people building. Kampala is built like as if it's anthills.
Yes. Chaos.
And then
Disappeared.
comes the day of the nature, the calendar day when you must leave. And what you have built, you have not prepared the children. You give them pieces of the little you have built. They fragment it, and then they all will start
in one
again
generation,
back.
It is done.
They are all back at the same place where
And
your
you're going back.
grandfather
where we
was.
have tried to
you're
save
going
them.
back to the-
Yes.
It's really-
So it is. I don't know how I can make you, the listener, to understand the importance of professional advice at this moment in your. Because you wake up early in the morning, you go to work, you labor, you toil, you suffer,
And-
you build a nice house, you buy cows, you buy land, you buy a car. Then you have an accident. Then you have a wife, you have a widow. You pass and you only live turmoil and chaos. Then there is a word I want to use but it's in vernacular. So and I don't have it in English.
Please give it to
Don't
us.
be ngamba nyenka.
Translation? We
Translation
have a
ngamba
translator.
nyenka.
Wiseeka. So
Why
it's
is it?
Don't
so
be a wiseacre.
yeah, it's
Don't
the
be
closest is
don't
like
be
a
the
wiseacre.
person who speaks alone.
Yes.
That the person who speaks alone can brew bad beer.
Yeah. If you talk to yourself.
Ngamba nyenka ahisa amarwa mabi. He makes bad brew. So because you have a lot of property quietly, you quietly want to be quietly deciding your will, quietly deciding your succession, but please, there are people called advisors.
They're there for
They keep confidentiality.
Honorable,
Go to them
our wives
and
are
be
hiding
advised.
property from us now.
Eh?
Our wives now,
Uh-huh.
they are hiding property from us.
Yes.
Because they
Their
fear.
wives.
They fear. No, this one is a pastor. But me and this man, our wives, they have some property, but they fear that, these men, they're very notorious. If they find out that you bought a piece of land somewhere on Masaka Road, they will come and they will sell it from under you. So everyone, as you're saying, everyone is hiding what they have. So it's a country of secrets.
Yeah. This conversation we're having is not about death. No. It's about responsibility.
Yes.
We are not talking about death. We are telling you to be responsible,
Building a culture.
write a will,
You forget about what the others are doing.
forget things, get advisors, go to a professional lawyer, a trusted person, sit down with them, let them write your will, let them advise you how to put a trust, let them tell you how to plan your taxes properly so that the money doesn't just, because you died recklessly without advisors, your money will be taken away because the taxman wants it. But you let your wealth outlive you. I would have been happy to inherit something from my father.
Yes.
Yeah.
But how soon should this be? You're talking to your regular Ugandan who lives from hand to mouth. And when we have this conversation, for them it's so privileged. Talking about trusts and whatnot. For them, they're looking at these are rich individuals who are talking. How soon should this be?
This is not a matter you can just walk into. I told you need me time. You need to sit down and reflect. Yeah.
So Honorable, I just wanted to clarify 2-3 things. One, the document you're talking about, would it be fair for me to say, sit down and do your net worth document,
Yes,
which is your
plan.
assets and liabilities, so
Yes.
that you can come face to face with
With
what your
reality.
reality
With
is, to
your
say,
reality.
this is my net worth, and then you say, okay, so if I were to write a will, how would it be distributed?
Right.
Then how would I do a trust? Yeah. So then the second question I want to ask, and he talked about, I think Colin talked about wives, husband and wife, and for me that's an area of interest. If a couple has property in both their names, and one of them passed, maybe this is just a legal question, and one of them passed, would the one who survives the other still have the ability to complete the process of doing a trust in case one ran out of time?
Yes and no. But you know that if one of you dies, then to be able to manage the estate of the other one, you need the court
Also,
to give you what they call letters of administration
for the other 50%.
for the other 50%.
We're doing the trust.
But if you have done a trust,
Yeah.
there is no need.
Yes.
Of course,
There
the
is
only
no
way
need
to
for
avoid
the
all
people
of
from
this
the
is
Ministry of Justice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Moreover, the will has to be registered and is a public document.
Okay.
The
You
trust.
You don't write.
The trust,
Yeah.
now listen to me very carefully. The trust is private.
It's a private thing.
And it gives you tax holiday and benefit.
Yeah.
Of course, Peter, the only way to avoid all of this is to
Yes.
have nothing to give your children.
That's not
That's if you're calling.
Anyway, we do need to wrap up the show.
But
yeah.
it's private. But you can also register it with the registration, with the register of
Services.
URSB.
URSB.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's important that all these things are done,
Yeah.
but with proper legal structures.
Yes.
What parting shot would they have learned? It was like a lecture today, and
You came
I've
to
learned
the-
a lot in regard to, like, I've learned a new one actually today, trust. And so yeah, as soon as possible, start doing this. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Peter, thank you so much. Honorable, thank you so much for hosting us today. For me, this has been a life-changing hour, where we've learned a lot. But also you have created the sense of urgency.
Yes.
You say, but I'm just 40. I will try at 50. But you never know when life is happening and things are happening urgently. And if you start now and you start to practice, the view is that for men out there, by the time your time comes, at least you have done some rehearsal and you're halfway, you're 50% there. So for me, that's the thing. Don't delay this process.
Yes. All right. Chris, your parting shot.
So first of all, again, thanks a lot, Honorable, for having us. This has been almost a pound of gold for every minute that we've spent with you. So thank you so much for sparing time with us and with the whole nation, really. I would recommend that everybody rewatches this particular show. You need to watch it many times. I think I'm going to watch it very many times. I'm going to watch it with my wife. I'm going to watch it with our kids, because it's wisdom that has out of experience that is helping us to move forward and really build wealth as a nation and as families. And for me, I think that rarely do I make pledges on air, but I want to pledge, Honorable, that today you have just one more person who's going to do this thing. I'm going to do this with my wife, and I'm going to tell my friends about it, and our church family and everybody.
Honorable, mine is to say thank you for always being very gracious, and even for accepting us into your home just like that. You just said, yes, Peter, come. You didn't think about it, we can't take that for granted.
The Honorable calls you Peter.
I was
Like a
surprised.
son.
How did you get
Okay.
there?
Now focus.
We are calling him Honorable, he's calling you Peter. Like, are we
know
the
each
same
other
children?
No, we are not. No, we are not. So I'll get the watch. That's all I'm saying.
You pray.
Anyway, this has been a very, very insightful conversation. And to me, what has struck me most is, yes, there's a sense of urgency. Sometimes we sit and we think that we still have time, yet the reality is we don't know. And to everybody out there, I think it's the same thing does apply. And I, on my side, I'm just going to pledge to have very uncomfortable conversations with my people. Because, you know, sometimes we hold off these conversations and eventually they catch up with us. So mine is to say thank you for being as gracious as you are, and also for being your humility still strikes me. And you have always been that man who is easily accessible. You're
So kind.
the top. You're in the top cream of this country. I mean, yes, you are. Yes, you are. And all the times we've met before, you've always been so accessible. And your humility for a man who has achieved what you've achieved is also eye-opening for the rest of us. Some of us, we buy a new pair of shoes and we want to step on everybody. So yeah,
Peter.
happens a lot.
Peter, we have spent some time together now with you and your colleagues,
Yes, sir.
but we have discussed a deeply human subject.
Yes.
It's a matter that has destroyed a lot of African families and even other families, not just Africans.
Yes.
Brothers don't talk to brothers because of properties and because of lack of responsible leadership in the family.
Yes.
Because people don't want to address important matters like we are discussing. One of my clients said, I saw my sister at the airport and I canceled my flight because that plane was going to be an accident. I couldn't stand such. I'll never forget it.
All right.
This is a matter touching every family, not one family. And I am talking confidently because for me, it has taken me 2 years working with an advisor, a family advisor, with lawyers, trying to put up Karuhanga Family Trust. And I have succeeded in getting it signed by all my children. And we shall soon hold our first board meeting.
Nice.
Where I surrender everything under my name.
I think this is the issue. Handing over.
And I
so
will
many
see
men,
and I will supervise when God gives me all this time how the managing director of our trust, the first one, and it will be rotational, how I see how they are working,
They perform. Yes.
how each director is performing. I am sharing this personal story because I know the gravity, the importance, the need for each one of us to implement.
Yes.
People don't listen. They like to build houses without architectural advisors. So that when you open the door going to the toilet, it can't allow you to enter the toilet because it closes the toilet. Because you said, "Nzemani kuombeka," I know how to build. But if you use architects, they will help you to have a nice house and you can enjoy it.
Yeah, true.
Therefore, don't live on earth without legal advisors to sort out your family, property, and all the hard work that you have worked. And then when you go or you don't go, you see it going into the casino.
Full.
And yet, you have been working helter-skelter, day and night, like as if you are a horse for the family. And then, when you look this way, 1 week later, they have sold your land, they have sold
And
your
they've
cows,
moved on,
they have sold your what. Yet, you can create this and even take care of that person who is selling them.
Yes.
Okay.
So, thank you, Peter. Thank you
very
for giving me this opportunity to share 1 or 2 words of wisdom with you.
Yes.
Because if you didn't do that, I would be sitting here with all this knowledge alone,
Yes, yes.
suffering with it.
Thank you very much. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it has been an amazing evening. And yes, Honorable says 1 or 2 words of wisdom. I say lots of words of wisdom. So thank you very much. Stay tuned. We'll see you next week only on your favorite show. And that is
Men.